Another important truth that I said, there will be no harvest if there's no seed. If there's no seed sown, not there's no seed, if there's no seed sown. If you don't sow it, then don't expect harvest. A lot of people want to have money. They want to have plenty of money. They want to prosper, but they sow nothing. They are sowing nothing. You are sowing nothing. Then how then on earth do you want to do what? Now, when we talk about seed sowing, which is putting your money, okay, into God's work, planting it into God's work in order for God's work to expand. So, in other words, we consider the work of God as what? As a fertile ground, as ground. All right? Because that's now, when you move to the supernatural understanding of it, that's the way you look at it. So, the work of God on earth is a fertile what? It's a ground on its own. It's like the earth. And when you plant into it, are you following? You are going to reap from that system. All right? When you plant into the earth by sowing agriculturally, doing agricultural farming and all that, you reap from it. Now, I'd like to say this to you. To practice seed sowing, to see financial success, you need to learn that every seed requires faith. You must understand that the system of God, which is what we call the kingdom of God, works by what? Faith. It is the fundamental principle of operation. And what is faith? You just know that what I am doing now will come back to me in a multiplied form. Why? Because I can understand it from the natural. So transfer the same understanding to the spiritual. What I've done this for the purposes of God. In fact, the work of God is like the earth. It is like you're sowing into God. And he will reproduce for you. Are you following what I'm saying? So it requires faith. What is faith? It's an understanding, spiritual understanding. Transfer the natural understanding to the supernatural. That's what once you have that understanding, you have faith in it. And you can apply it. Are you with me? The next important point is every seed that you are sowing requires a focus. What that means is that it starts with you sow for a reason. You don't take your corn and just throw them in the farm. I really don't want to have harvest corn. No. I just threw the corn away. Are you getting what I'm saying? So you have to be intentional about it. All right. And by saying intentional, what I mean is that you are sowing for a reason. Because that's the only way you can have focus. You are focusing on something. What is it that you're focusing on? Your harvest. And what the harvest is what? There is something you want. There is something you want, you need God to do. Are you with me? To supply. And so you first of all had known that every blessing has been given to you in the heavenly places. But now you are focusing on it. You are targeting, for instance, you are targeting, let's say, money. You are targeting a good wife. You are targeting, one thing or the other, opportunities, favor. Are you following what I'm saying? A business proposal that you wanted to come. And then you will sow for that thing to come. Are you following what I'm saying? So you must have a focus. You don't just throw seeds. It must have what? A focus. It must have a focus. And there are different kinds of seed. Are you following? There are different kinds of what? Seed. Tomato seed is for tomato. Corn produces what? So different kinds of seed. In other words, if you are sowing something, be clear what you want to know what you're planting for. And this is how the scripture puts it. This is how the scripture puts it. Another important point. Your seed requires a fertile. Your seed requires a fertile. Your seed requires what? Your seed requires a fertile ground. If it's going to produce, it requires a fertile ground. If you sow seed where it's not fertile, it's gone. Just as I said, the supernatural can be seen from the natural. All right? All right? So, this is how Jesus put it when he taught on this is giving. He said, give, it shall be given back to you. Shaking, pressed together, so shall men pour into your bosom. Full stop. To give means you are sowing. Something is moving from you, and then something is going to come back to you. Are you following what I'm saying? So, you must see that the natural mirrors what? The supernatural. That's what it is. So it requires an optimum environment. It requires an what? An optimum environment. Your seed requires a rich environment for it to do what? For it to, produce. Your seed requires an optimum environment for it to do what? A good environment for it to produce. So, for instance, if you are sowing on the earth and you didn't prepare the soil, or the soil is not good, or the soil does not support such kind of seed, okay, grain. If you plant it, you are not going to get it. Are you with me? So you need to know the soil that you are sowing into. Yeah, you follow what I'm saying? At every time you have a seed, at every time you have a seed, it is very difficult for God to leave any of his child without a seed. At every time. What that means is that you need to recognize what is a seed. Are you following what I'm saying? Remember what I said. There are different kinds of seed, okay? There's tomato seed, there's a seed. There's a seed of honor. There's a seed of gratitude. There's a seed of time. There's a seed of love. And each will produce what? Are you following what I'm saying? And you can start up with a particular seed, and it can open a door for you. The seed of honor can bring to you lifting. It can open doors for you. If you learn what is honor. So it's difficult for any child of God not to have what? A seed at any given time. You may not have money, but you may have other seeds that can create the platform for the money to come, which you cannot take and replant, and it begins to do what? And multiply it. I do think that it's something we can make our life mission. Not life mission, but what we can push our life in, all right, and press towards that way. We will see increase. I do think that we really don't understand these things, and because we don't work it. Because until you work it, even when God created Adam in paradise, in Eden, he still told him to work. So there's no way you can escape work. And that's what the Bible says, he who does not work, let him not eat. Why did he say so? It's not a curse. It's so that you can awaken to the reality that he has to work in order to eat. Because you can't be sponsoring laziness. God doesn't leave us trapped. It doesn't leave us trapped. You do have a seed. It is what you want to do with that seed is what determines your future. Let me tell you why lots of people are broke. Lots of believers. You know why they are broke? Let me tell you. I want to show you why they are broke. They eat their seed. You know what that means? They eat their seed. How do you mean? You see, you've got 20,000, and you take that 20,000. Please understand that tithe is different from seed. Tithe is God's money. It's not your own. It's not your seed. You are owing. That one is the one you are owing to God. Now you get a tithe and pay your debt. Because that's what is spiritual debt to God. You pay it. Then let's say you have 18,000 left. Then you have problem around you that is 25,000. Are you following what I'm saying? If you don't deal with your thinking, you'll be in trouble. Because the challenge would be to eat what? To take this 18,000 and solve what? And unfortunately, you are still going to be left with 7,000 deficit, still undone. But you know what you have done now? When you buried that 18,000 completely, you are left with nothing to multiply. If there's any question, I'll take it here. Because we're concluding the module here. The next module will be, we have two modules on this very particular one. The next module will be dealing with harvest. There are different kinds of seed, and as you see in the natural world, also in the supernatural world, honor can bring increase. How does honor bring increase? Honor can open a door for you that ordinarily that will not open. If you learn to honor people, or honor even God, or honor people that carry certain grace, that type of thing will come to you, because that's the way life is. And there's a way you honor somebody, he will give you opportunity. Okay, and you know what the Bible said. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive what? So it's simply a seed principle that Jesus is saying. If you sow mercy, you get mercy. Are you following what I'm saying? So if you're someone who gives favor, that favor to people, you are likely going to get that favor. Remember, when you say favor, this favor will be in different things. I hope you know. It might be favor in terms of giving people money. It might be favor in opportunity, so if you do that, you're actually going to reap favor. And everything you give will come back to you in a multiplied form. So, I don't know if I've answered your question. Yes, do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can, now, if you sow seed of favor, for instance, you gave money for the purpose of favor, you will get financial favor. Yes. There is job favor. Yes. There is car favor. Oh. It all depends on what. Now, if you don't have car to give, why not sow the seed of honor? Yes. You can actually honor somebody and he gives you a car. And he gives you an opportunity that will bring about the money or the car. Do you understand what I'm saying? This thing is so deep. It's a way of thinking. As I said, it's God's wisdom. So don't limit your mind only to sow money. There are different kinds of seeds. And there are different kinds of grounds also. Yes, sir. Are you following what I'm saying? Yes. If you sow honor, then whatever thing you are honoring will come to you. And remember, honor is not just only, oh, good morning, sir. Honor can be money. I just want to, this money I'm giving to you, sir, I just brought this to honor you. Just to honor the grace upon your life. Just to honor, for you to have built this massive thing. It is a reflection of wisdom. I just want to honor this thing in your life. Thank you, sir. There's this story that is being told. A very rich man and supposedly an influential politician. And the people, everybody comes to him and everybody comes with a problem and they come to tell him something to do for them and all that. And a young man came and just bought him a gift. And told him and said, sir, I brought you this gift to honor you. To get where you are is not so easy. And the things you do for people. Just to say thank you. It's not easy. To have reached this place is a show of wisdom. Just wanted to honor you for this. And the man looked at him, waiting for him to do a request. He didn't do anything. When he wanted to go, the man called him back. I said, what exactly do you want? Okay, take this, my card. This is my personal number. Take. The other ones will be given, if I told you, we have the PA's number. He said, call me whenever you want. You see, the Bible said the gift of a man maketh a way. It's a seed of honor. It's already wrong. That's why it will not produce. It doesn't really require. Yes, because you remember I've said something before. The natural mirrors the supernatural. If you go and take your corn and plant it in a sandy soil, water will wash it away. It's not going to do anything. If you didn't know, ignorance is not an excuse that you have thrown away your seed. I think you will have to go and meet God face to face. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you see, everything God does on the earth, He uses men. So if you, that's why we need to have eyes to recognize grace. Are you with me? One day I was considering about growth, number in the ministry. And I could go do that in Pentecostal, right? Because you cannot go to a pastor who has 50 members, at most 100 members, and you want to sow for global, you're kidding. Because what you're expecting, he doesn't have. I want to deal with different grounds. Are you following what I'm saying? Yes, but for instance, you go to somebody like Oyedebo, or Redeem, or Catholic Church. Do you now see why one pastor went and built something? Maybe that may not be his intention, but you see, Catholic Church is all over the world. If he is believing God for expansion, to have branches everywhere, he has tapped into the place. Are you following what I'm saying? So there are different grounds. And there are different kinds of what? And seed sown on a wrong soil. Not even a soil that is on a wrong soil. Is gone. I did sow one time and I need it. There's one thing I know. Certain seeds take time. And be sure you are prepared to harvest. Because sometimes, spiritual things is not just, you really have to be spiritual for it to work. And corn has a different time of harvest. Cassava has different time of harvest. Cocoyam has different time of harvest. Orange has different time. If you plant a seed of orange, you probably need to wait for years for it to come. So you need to find out what exactly. Certain things has to be in the right timing, atmosphere, and circumstances. The first thing first is that you have set things in motion by letting the seed leave your hands. But there's a future that is coming. I have said certain things that I think you need to look back at the things I said for you to find your answer. First, a seed must have a reason, a focus. 2, a seed must be on a fertile ground. 3, there is a time for seed to be sown. 4, there must be a fertile ground. 5, I didn't want to talk about waiting because I'm going to talk about it on harvest, which will be the second motto. All right? And hope that the seed does not have problem in itself also. The seed that Naaman sown in the hand of Gehazi will not produce. So you need to look at, I think we need a lot of discernment to see where we are putting our things. You know, I had sown something before and I realized it was a wrong place. If it's now, I would have said, please give me back that my thing, let me go away. Because my own was, right there and there, the person said things that showed me it was wrong. So I could have said, sorry, sir, can I have that thing that I gave you now? And I'll collect it and say, I'm so sorry, I just changed my mind. Because, of course, it never produced. A lot of people, let's say it was framed to come that time. If you don't have even the required faith, the framing may not come. But there's one sure thing. If you plant a seed, it will come. It will come. Even if it beats, there are what we call late harvest season. It may come. But you need to also recognize it when it comes. All right. That's where we take it for this module. We'll go in to look at the next module.